Now, Albanian crime gangs have found another loophole in Britain's asylum system. TikTok adverts are now targeting pregnant women prepared to have a refused asylum seeker's name on their baby's birth certificate, allowing illegal migrants to escape deportation by claiming that they have a British family. An investigation by The Sun found one TikTok account calling itself Consular Services London, which boasted, "Our job continues every day. We have women and children. Register their children with your name in the UK." This new trick is reportedly favoured by those whose asylum has been refused by the Home Office and are facing imminent deportation. Nigel, were you shocked to learn of this plot today?
No, not really. I mean, these are very devious people, nearly always involved in criminality, often making very large sums of money. So they will do whatever they have to do, including paying pregnant women, cash sums to get their name put on the birth certificate. These are clever people, and we're stupid. We have a civil service who've no interest in stopping this, and a government without the courage or the moral fibre to tackle any of it for fear horrible things might be said against them. But don't forget, the reason they want to be on the birth certificate is because of Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights, as passed into UK law by the Human Rights Act of 1998. And frankly, all of these discussions, this issue, Rwanda, whatever else it may be, until you cut that Gordian knot of the Human Rights Act, you will have ultimately a judiciary that will allow these people to stay.
Do you trust that the Home Office is on top of this, Nigel?
I don't think they care, Patrick. I really don't think they care. And to be honest, I don't think the Conservative government really care, other than it's now costing them support, which has led them into a blind panic where they start to say things. But, I mean, was Boris Johnson bothered about how many people came into Britain? Not once. Not once. And, this from a party that told the electorate in their manifestos of 10, 15, 17, they'd reduced net migration to tens of thousands, and in 2019 said, hey, guys, with Brexit, we get back control of their of our borders. They've just lied to us. They've openly lied to us for 14 years. Could Labour be any worse? It'll be about the same, I guess.
I mean, there's absolutely no way that we would even be able to do things like DNA test these babies. I mean, if we can't even perform dental checks on bearded 30-year-old migrants claiming to be 15-year-olds who rock up on the sands of Dover at some point for their human rights, there's no way we're going to be able to DNA test a baby to find out whether or not that random Albanian bloke is his dad.
Yeah, but no one cares. Patrick, no, they don't care. They're not interested in the makeup of the country. They don't care about the massively rising population. They don't care about its impacts. They don't care. That's why we need absolutely radical, outright reform of the whole thing.
So getting out of the ECHR, in your view, would stop Albanian gangs essentially raffling off unborn babies to stay in Britain?
Getting out of the ECHR, amending the Human Rights Act in line with that, would give us the ability to pass legislation that judges couldn't overrule. Yes, that's it. And until we do that, frankly, we're all tearing our hair out over the injustice of it, how unfair it is. But until we do that, none of this will ever be solved.
No, indeed. Well, look, in response, the Home Office said this, all right? So immigration fraud using false birth certificates is a serious offence, which is why we have measures in place to prevent and detect it. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously The Sun just went on TikTok and found out that this was happening. So we'll wait to see exactly what the measures that the Home Office is using. But look, the Labour Party is facing a fresh split over the issue of national ID cards. So former Home Secretary Lord Blunkett is encouraging Starmer to reinstate the failed policy of yesteryear to tackle illegal immigration. He wants compulsory ID cards. Illegal migrants will potentially find it much harder to find illicit work in Britain. The use of ID cards in France is widely regarded as a deterrent to migrants settling there, which is why so many of them make the journey to Britain. I mean, Nigel, would this make the blind bit of difference, do you think?
Absolute nonsense. The number of illegal migrants that have crossed the Mediterranean currently in France is far greater than those that have crossed the English Channel from Calais to come into us. ID cards do nothing to stop criminality, but what they do is give the authorities the opportunity to punish the normally law-abiding. I am not convinced by this argument one little bit. And there was always that side to David Blunkett, always that authoritarian side to David Blunkett, always that feeling that the state should be able to control everything you do, and demand to see your papers walking down Bromley High Street. No, thank you.
I mean, also, as well, they would have to tell us who they are to begin with, which is part of the problem, isn't it? Because this is the other aspect that nobody wants to engage with, right? You could buy a plane ticket to Heathrow Airport and claim asylum when you get here for much cheaper than it costs you to employ a human trafficker to put you in the back of a lorry or anything. The reason why they do it is because they ditch the documents in the channel and then they become undocumented and they go through the system. So the idea that you're going to end up with a load of them on the beach saying, all right, OK, here's my name, give me an ID card, it's just bonkers, isn't it?
No. I've come from Afghanistan. I've come from a war zone. I'm gay and I've converted to Christianity. That's what they say. That's what they say, and that's what the system lets them do. And there's no doubt, actually, that our hearts are hardened to genuine refugees because of the behaviour of those that abuse the system, and we let them do it. And we're so busy pointing the finger of blame at other countries and elsewhere. The failings are all here.
Yeah, and do you think that Labour's policy of smash the... I mean, look, I know you've been all over the Rwanda plan, the Rwanda files and all of that. Have you got any idea what Labour mean when they say smash the gangs? Because, we are staring down the barrel of a Labour government, so it would be quite nice to know.
Well, what they mean is, spend more money on policing, spend more money on cooperation with the French, have tough penalties for those that traffic human beings. But you think about it. This summer, when we get a good week, a gang that is sending boats every day off the beaches of anywhere in northern France will be making 2 to 3 million euros in a week. All right?
Yeah.
You could bring in the death penalty for people smuggling. With prizes that big, there will always be someone to do it. Smashing the gangs, sounds great in theory, but in practice it won't happen. And look, now the French police are going around northern France carrying weapons because they're so fearful that many of the migrant gangs themselves are now carrying guns. All the while there's a pull factor, all the while there's a draw, and the draw is you will get looked after in the United Kingdom. You will get put up at a hotel. You will be able to work in the illegal economy. Your chances of being granted asylum are 75% plus. Even if you're rejected, just say you become Christian and you can stay, you've got a 1% chance of being removed. So all the while that pull factor is there, all the while the money exists in people trafficking, you can attack the gangs all you like, they will still do their business.
Nigel, thank you very much.